Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV in conjunction with Colfax High School presents Viking Pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings girls game. And now, Viking Pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN-TV studios, as we would like to wish all of our viewers a very happy Valentine's Day. I'm Rick Olson, and we're getting ready to bring you girls high school basketball action as the 15-5 Colfax Vikings, who are 9-3 in the Dunn-St Croix Conference, will be taking on the 15-7 Mondovi Buffaloes, who are currently 8-4 in the Dunn-St Croix. The Vikings are coming off a 62-30 win over the Glenwood City Hilltoppers on Tuesday, while the Buffaloes are coming off a 44-28 win over the Boyceville Bulldogs also on Tuesday. Now, coming up in this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Buffaloes and the Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Serrar's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. And then we'll take a quick look around the Dunn-St Croix Conference to see where things stand with barely over a week to go in the regular season. Following that, we'll send it out to Mondovi High School, where our broadcast crew will bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's girls Dunn-St Croix Conference game. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school girls basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout as you're tuned to Viking Pregame on NLWN-TV.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame, where we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's girls basketball game as the 15-5 Colfax Vikings, who are 9-3 in the Dunn-St Croix, are taking on the 15-7 Mondovi Buffaloes, who have a conference record of 8-4. The Vikings took care of business over the Glenwood City Hilltoppers 62-30 on Tuesday, while the Buffaloes defeated the Boyceville Bulldogs also on Tuesday 44-28. Now, in that win over the Hilltoppers, the Vikings controlled the game from the beginning and pulled steadily away for the win. 12 Vikings saw action, with 9 adding to the scoring total, including the injured senior Kaysen Goodell, who, in spite of her injured leg, was allowed to start the game on senior day and allowed to score the first 2 Viking points.
Up and they put it in. So the Vikings bring it back down the floor.
I'm not for sure what's going on.
There's not.
I see.
Then they give it to Kaysen, and Kaysen puts it in. And we're going to get a substitution timeout. So part of the deal the Vikings made, and she's getting a great hand right now from the crowd, is they would let the Hilltoppers get that first basket so that Kaysen could get one as a senior on senior day.
Now, leading the way for the Vikings in that effort was junior Jordan Bovey, who hit on 8 field goals, including 2 3-pointers, and going 1 for 2 from the charity stripe for 19 points.
Getting into the lane to Sikora. Sikora back out to Bovey. Bovey from the right side puts up a 3. She hit the 3. Jordan Bovey with a 3-pointer. She's got 8 on the night. 14-9, Vikings on top.
Yeah, it's good to see her starting to get in rhythm.
Points. She was followed by junior Bryn Sikora, who added another 14 points to the Viking effort with 5 field goals, one of which was a 3-pointer, and going 3 for 4 from the free throw line.
Shipman gets it back out to Sikora. Sikora from 3. She hit the 3. Bryn Sikora with a 3.
Now tonight, the Vikings continue to wrap up their Dunn-St Croix Conference play as they take on the Mondovi Buffaloes. The Buffaloes are currently posting an 8-4 conference record. Now, back on January 14th, the Vikings defeated the Buffaloes 42-32 in Colfax. Now this season, the Buffaloes are scoring an average of 52 points per game while giving up an average of only 39. Now, so far this season, leading the way scoring for Mondovi is 5'9" senior guard Maddie Martin, who's hitting on 31% of her shots from the floor, as well as 55% from the free throw line, while averaging over 15 points per game. She's followed by 5'11" senior forward Amber Lund, who's shooting 45% from the floor and 36% from three-point land, while contributing over 9 points per game. Martin and Lund lead the Buffaloes in rebounding, with each pulling down 7.5 boards per game. The Vikings so far this season are being led in scoring by Jordan Bovey, who's averaging nearly 15 points per game. She's being followed by junior Sierra Shipman, who's averaging just under 10 points per game, while junior Bryn Sikora is contributing an average of 9 points per game. On the boards, Sikora is pulling down over 6 rebounds per game, while Shipman is grabbing over 5.5. Now coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Viking head coach Courtney Serrar on Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on NLWN-TV.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Today we're talking with Viking girls head coach Courtney Serrar. And first of all, Coach, I want to wish you a very happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you.
And you're very welcome. And Coach, just a few minutes, the Vikings are going to take on the Mondovi Buffaloes in a game that could have an impact on the shape of the Dunn-St. Croix conference at the end of the season. But before we get to that game, back on Tuesday, the Vikings took care of business by defeating the Glenwood City Hilltoppers 62-30. Your thoughts about that game?
Yeah, we got off to kind of a slower start. We weren't really able to put the ball into the basket, but overall, I thought it was a good win.
Now, there was something kind of special about that game. On Tuesday, it was senior day, and the Vikings have only one senior on the roster, and she's dealing with an injury. Of course, I'm talking about Kaysen Goodell. And you found a pretty creative way for Kaysen to be recognized for her contributions. Can you talk a little bit about her game time appearance?
Yeah, she got hurt, away from Colfax, and it was, terrible timing. I mean, no time is a good time to get hurt, but, it's her senior year. It was her last chance to kind of play in front of her home crowd, that kind of thing. So I was really happy that the Glenwood coach was able to work with us, and kind of organize, that special opportunity for her to not only get to start, on her senior night, but also score our first basket. It'll be her last time, putting on her, home white uniform. And I think it was really special for her.
And I think the crowd really appreciated it and gave her a very appropriate ovation after it happened. Now, in that game, all 12 of the Vikings saw action, with 9 putting points on the board. And in addition, late in the game, when those players who don't see a lot of time in the game came in, and the defense didn't let up significantly. Your comments about the depth of this year's Viking team?
Yeah, I think top to bottom, we've really improved. And, I tell, some of our younger players, you're going against, juniors and seniors who've been around the block and who are good players, so, the frustrations in practice, you might not, be able to do what you want, but it, it reaps benefits in the game, as they're able to continue to grow their skills and improve. So that's one benefit of having a smaller amount of kids is that you all have to play together. You all have to work together every day to get better. And you're playing tougher competition. If it's against some of our varsity starters and that kind of thing. But I really think that it helps us improve as a group.
Now, tonight the Vikings are going to face another Dunn-St. Croix conference team in the Mondovi Buffaloes. And the Buffaloes are barking right at the heels of the Vikings in the Dunn-St. Croix standings. The Vikings defeated the Buffaloes 42-32 earlier this season. What can you tell us about Mondovi?
Yeah, they're, a good team that have, quite a few pieces of, they're close to being really good. They're well coached by Darren Gray, and I've been impressed with some of the things that they've been able to do. Maddie Martin is good off the dribble, and she can really create for her teammates, and they have a big presence inside with Amber Lund, who is very aggressive on the rebounds and is able to really attack those boards hard, and that's how she gets a lot of her points is, cleaning up, misses from her teammates, and she has a nose for the ball.
Now, last time these two teams met, it was really a defensive battle where the Vikings kept the Buffaloes, as you mentioned, Maddie Martin and Amber Lund, to 12 and 11 points and kept everyone else down to low single digits. Should we expect more of the same tonight, or are there some changes that we might look for?
Yeah, and we definitely have to, keep those two at bay, to give us a shot to win. We can't, but at the same time, holding some of their role kids, underneath their averages too will only help us. So overall, it'll be kind of the same story that it's been all year. It's going to take good individual defense and also, great team defense.
And lately, the Vikings have been shooting a little better, and that isn't going to hurt.
No, definitely not. I mean, obviously it's, you have to be able to put the ball in the basket. So I'm hoping, that we can come together and kind of let some of our defense create our offense and go from there.
Well, Coach Sarrar, good luck on tonight's game. Hopefully the Vikings can keep polishing their game, close out the regular season ready for the WIA playoffs, and make a push for that number 2 spot in the Dunn-St. Croix.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
You need some help?
Your tow chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame. On Tuesday, the Dunn-St. Croix Conference had a full schedule of games. In Tuesday's games, the Elk Mound Mounders clinched at least a tie for the Dunn-St. Croix crown with a 59-13 victory over the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. In other action, it was the Vikings over the Glenwood City Hilltoppers 62-30, while the Durand, Arkansas Panthers topped the Spring Valley Cardinals 43-17, and the Mondovi Buffaloes upended the Boyceville Bulldogs 44-28. Now, going into the final portion of conference play for this season, the Dunn-St. Croix Conference standings are as follows. Locked up in first place are the unbeaten at 12-0 Elk Mound Mounders. 2 games back in second place are the Durand, Arkansas Panthers at 10-2, while the Colfax Vikings at 9-3 and 3 games off the pace are in third place. Fourth place finds the Mondovi Buffaloes at 8-4, while the Boyceville Bulldogs at 4-7 are in fifth place. It's the Spring Valley Cardinals at 3-8 in sixth place, while seventh place finds the Glenwood City Hilltoppers, and the Elmwood Plum City Wolves are in eighth. Now tonight, the Dunn-St. Croix Conference again has a full slate of games. That includes the Vikings traveling to Mondovi to take on the Buffaloes, while the Elk Mound Mounders are guests of the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. The Durand, Arkansas Panthers will welcome the Boyceville Bulldogs, and the Elmwood Plum City Wolves will journey to Spring Valley to face the Cardinals. Now tonight, the Vikings are looking to continue to push for the number 2 spot against the team that's breathing down their neck in the Dunn-St. Croix. Meanwhile, the Buffaloes would like to get ready for the upcoming WIAA Regionals. So the stage is set for some exciting girls high school basketball. We'll have all the action for you right here on NLWN-TV. Now in just a moment, I'll join our broadcast crew at Mondovi High School as we'll bring you all the action of tonight's girls game with the Colfax Vikings and the Mondovi Buffaloes. That's all coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on NLWN-TV.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. Remember the best planned 90 minutes of your life? Or that surprise party for your parents' golden anniversary? You get the golden planning. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
You've been tuned to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Vikings girls game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Colfax Viking basketball.
It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Colfax Viking girls basketball is on the air.
Back over to Sierra Shipman. She spins at the top of the key, takes it into the lane, lays it up and puts it in. Sierra Shipman with her first 2 points of the night.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network, along with NLWN-TV, is excited to bring you Colfax High School girls basketball.
Then over to the left side to Jordan, lays it up and puts it in.
Join us as we follow the Vikings as they battle their way through the Dunn-St. Croix Conference.
To Goodell from 3, she'd hit the 3!
And now, out to the gym for today's Colfax Viking basketball.
And good evening. Rick Olson here along with Dan Petchow and Chris Olson on the camera, and we're bringing you Colfax High School basketball tonight from Mondovi, and we're a little early tonight because it's snowing outside, and I'm just hoping we get back from Mondovi okay after this is all said and done. Dan, it was kind of an interesting drive down here.
Yeah, you know, it wasn't, I said when I left the house I was doing about 60 miles an hour, and when I came past my house on the way back, I was doing about 40. So, but it's all right.
County Road H, which is really the most direct way between Colfax and Mondovi, once you got past Rock Falls, was snow-covered and slippery, and yeah, it was take your time and life is okay.
Yeah, this is why my dad has gray hair, because I would go out on a game at night when it was snowing and I was supposed to be home, and I was at some basketball game.
Well, tonight here in Mondovi, it is senior night, and they, between the junior varsity game and the varsity game, they honored the seniors here at Mondovi. And they are, let me pull my stuff out here. Allie Butler, Amber Lund, Whitney Krybeck, and Maddie Martin. And they took the time to recognize those girls, and if time permits, we will go through some of that information with you. But since we have a little bit of time before the start of tonight's game, let's hear from our sponsors as we're bringing you Viking basketball on NLWN-TV.
January is Financial Wellness Month. Weight loss and physical fitness are common New Year's resolutions, but your finances could probably stand to be leaner as well. Dairy State Bank will post tips all month on Facebook and Twitter to help you get your finances in shape. You can also access a library of information anytime in our online education center. Visit dairystatebank.com and click on the Education Center under the Resources tab. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
Back here at Mondovi High School, and we're getting ready to bring you tonight's girls game between the Colfax Vikings and the Mondovi Buffaloes. Don't forget that tonight's girls basketball game is being brought to you by Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for Western Wisconsin. Anderson Bridges, who've been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's Technology, IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Menominee Eye and Optical, with quality, personalized care for you and your family. C&K Construction, concrete experts for the Chippewa Valley. And Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Comfort food the way Mom used to make it. Make sure do some business with these fine sponsors, because they are the reason that we're able to bring you Colfax High School basketball. And Dan, I'm looking for, here, this is what I'm looking for. Tonight, the Vikings come into the game. They're 15-5 overall, with a 9-3 record in the Dunn-St. Croix Conference after their pretty resounding win on Tuesday over the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. And the Buffaloes come in right behind the Vikings. They are 15-7 overall, 8-4 in the Dunn-St. Croix Conference. Both teams are wanting to make a push towards that second place spot. The Elkmount Mounders have already clinched the conference championship, but the Vikings are trying to chase down the Durand, Arkansas Panthers for that number 2 spot. Panthers, by the way, are trying to chase down the Mounders and maybe see if they can't get a tie for that conference championship. But the Vikings want to catch the Panthers, and this is a big game en route to being able to do that. So I'll tell you what, Dan, why don't you tell us who's going to play in tonight's game, since it's something that we want to be ready for. It helps if I turn on your mic.
Here's the starters tonight for the Mondovi Buffaloes. They're going to go senior number 3, Allie Butler. Senior number 10, Maddie Martin. Sophomore number 12, Addison Gray. Senior number 24, Whitney Krybeck. And senior number 34, Amber Lund. For the Vikings, they're going to go junior number 12, Jordan Bovey. Freshman number 24, Lyric Nichols. Junior number 30, Sierra Shipman. Junior number 34, Bryn Sikora. And junior number 44, Clara Hajdukovic.
So the Vikings are huddled up down on the floor as they continue their pregame warm-ups. And they're kind of being led out in those warm-ups by Kaysen Goodell, that although she can't play, she is still a vital part of this team. And I know it's got to be frustrating for her with her knee injury, and it's probably going to keep her out of spring sports as well. And so we just wish her the very best and a speedy recovery, and then maybe she can get back into it when she goes off to college, where she's already committed to UW River Falls. Dan, your thoughts going into this one?
Yeah, just give a little congratulations to Allie Butler and Whitney Krybeck. I've been following those two girls since they were little kids. They both show horses, and I was announcing and helping them out way back, probably 10 years or longer than that. So good job, girls. And I think Mondovi, as the season goes along, they've gotten a little stronger and understand how to do this with Coach Darren Gray, who I know pretty well. And but Colfax, they're right in rhythm right now. They got good defense. They can get up and down the court. Some of the girls that were kind of learning the game early in the season, they've found their roles and have done really well. So it's going to be a really close game, I think.
I do remember a football coach at this stage of the season, towards the very end, turning to the young players, especially the freshmen, saying, "You're not freshmen anymore. You've got a season under your belt, and you need to remember to play like it." And that's what these girls have learned to do, is the young players on the Viking team, they're starting a whole pack of juniors, and they're not really juniors anymore. They're basically, experience-wise, pretty much the same as seniors now. And
when you come into a team, you don't know anybody, and you don't know the system. And as the season goes along, you start to know your players. And all of a sudden, second half, now you know what's actually going on. And then that's when you know if you're going to start peaking or not, because second half of the season.
Now, you were mentioning that you've been following the equestrian careers of Whitney Krybeck and Allie Butler for a long time.
Yeah, since they're knee-high to a grasshopper.
And Allie is going to be going to Viterbo College, and she's going into nursing down at Viterbo, and it is one of the top nursing schools in the area. And Whitney is going to Winona State University. She's majoring in marketing and minoring in creative digital media. We might be able to find a job for her.
Yeah.
And not to leave the other two out, Amber Lund is going to be attending Boston University, majoring in biology, specializing in cellular biology, molecular biology, and genetics. And don't get into a trivia contest with her. And Maddie Martin going to UW La Crosse and looking to pick up a degree in business management. So congratulations to those four girls for the Mondovi Buffaloes. We're getting closer to the start of this game. We're going to send it off for some more messages from our sponsors, and then we'll be back with the starting lineups pregame festivities on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
To get your lawn or garden to perform and attracting what you want, you first need to know what your soil is working with. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, serving Western Wisconsin.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
Back here at Mondovi High School, and we're getting very close to the start of this one. In fact, we're going to turn it over to the scorer's table for the opening ceremonies of tonight's game.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's Dunn-St. Croix girls basketball matchup between the Colfax Vikings and your Mondovi Buffalo. Mondovi High School, Colfax High School, NLWN require good sportsmanship and education-based sporting events. Attendance at interscholastic activities is a privilege with the expectation to exhibit positive and respectful behavior. For the enjoyment and respect of all in attendance, your cooperation in demonstrating the high ideals of sportsmanship is expected and greatly appreciated. And now for our starting lineups for the Vikings. Junior number 12, Jordan Colfax. Freshman number 24, Larry Nichols. Junior number 30, Sierra Chipman. Junior number 34, Brent Sikora. And junior number 44, Clara Newmatch. The Vikings are coached by Courtney Serrar and Harvey Kevin. And now before we do our lineup here for the Buffaloes, we have a few milestones that we would like to address at this time. Our first one was on January 31st in Spring Valley. Amber Lund surpassed Katie Shalene as the all-time leading rebounder in Mondovi girls basketball. Amber also holds the current record for rebounds in a season with 235 rebounds, a feat that she accomplished last season. We'd like to recognize Katie Shalene for all that she has accomplished during her days as a Buffalo, as well as congratulate Amber Lund for notching place in Mondovi girls basketball history. Another milestone we have, that's Friday, with about a minute left to go in the game against Iran. Maddie Martin hit her third three-pointer of the game, and that shot landed her at exactly 1,000 career points. She joined Katie Shalene, Ava Gray, and Ashley Williamson as the fourth player in program history to score over 1,000 points. That shot also broke Tanya Zekin, McDonald's record for the most three-pointers in her career. Tanya's with us today. Please wait for her. We'd like to recognize Tanya now for everything that she has accomplished on the basketball court as Buffalo, and congratulate Maddie Martin for making her mark in Mondovi girls basketball history. Congratulations.
So there's the starting lineups for tonight's game. For the Vikings again, it's the usual Bovey, Nichols, Shipman, Sikora, and Hajdukovic. And for the Mondovi Buffaloes, it's Butler, Martin, Gray, Krybeck, and Lund. Hajdukovic to jump for the Vikings, and Amber Lund to jump center for the Buffaloes. The official steps into the circle. Ball goes up. Tipped, controlled by the Buffaloes. Maddie Martin with the ball. She's at the top of the key, feeds it over to the left side. They get it down into the corner. And the pass gets tipped away by Sikora. She brings it down the floor, puts on the brakes, down in the right corner. Gets it out to Bovey, back over to Sikora. Out high to Nichols, over to the left side to Shipman. Shipman feeds it out to Nichols. Vikings taking their time. Sikora with it. Now to Bovey, who's out in the center circle. Pass down into the lane to Hajdukovic. She lays it up. She missed it. And coming down with it is Amber Lund. Gets it to Martin. Martin at the top of the key. Gets it over to the left side. Down into the corner to Lund. Down underneath to Martin. She goes up, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul. And they got Bovey. Although Bovey got the worst of that one because she took it right on the chin as Martin went up. So Maddie Martin to the line for two. First shot's up and good. First blood drawn by Mondovi. That almost could have been literal.
Yeah.
And the second shot is up. That one's good. 2-0. Buffaloes on top. Bovey with the ball. She tries to feed it over to Nichols and intercepted. Three-pointer up is no good. That was attempted by Butler. Another three, this time by Martin, is no good. Rebound, chased down by Lund. She's on the baseline. Gets it back out to the left wing. Shot goes up and good for two. They awarded her a two-pointer. And that was by Whitney Krybeck. Full court pressure being put on by the Buffaloes. Nichols with it. Double teamed. Feeds it into the forecourt. Sikora has it. Takes it into the lane. Back out to the right side. Bovey with a three. It's no good. Rebound taken down by Shipman. And we're going to get a whistle and a foul. I believe the foul is going to be on Addison Gray. It is.
Number 3.
Oh, my mistake. Foul's on Allie Butler. It's her first team foul on the Buffaloes. Nichols looking to get it in. Long pass into Shipman. Bounce pass to Hajdukovic. She gets it back out towards Nichols, but knocked out of bounds. Was knocked out by Allie Butler. So the Vikings retain possession. 4-0 Mondovi on top. Ball comes into Shipman. Cross-court pass over to Hajdukovic. She thought about the three, drives in, loses the handle, and down the floor come the Buffaloes. Passing it underneath Olivia Snyder. Missed her shot.
Amber Lund with the and one.
So it's 6-0 Mondovi.
Fouls on number 34.
Bryn Sikora, her second team foul on the Vikings. And the free throw is in and out, no good. So Bovey to bring the ball down the floor for the Vikings. Comes across the timeline. Feeds it over to the left side to Shipman. Shipman to Hajdukovic at the top of the key. Takes it over to the right. Back out to Bovey. She couldn't catch the pass, and down the floor comes Butler, and she puts it up and in. And the Vikings want to talk it over. Mondovi Buffaloes leading the way with an 8-0 score as you're tuned to Viking basketball on NLWN-TV.
C&K Construction is your source for high-quality concrete and construction work in the Chippewa Valley. Established in 2014, C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls is a leading concrete contractor proud to serve Eau Claire, Altoona, Menominee, and surrounding areas. Specializing in concrete construction, excavating, flatwork poured walls, and much more, they're right for all of your concrete needs. Call C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls at 715-559-1335.
Back here in Mondovi, where the Buffaloes have opened up an 8-0 lead over the Vikings. Bryn Sikora to inbound the ball for the Vikings. Long pass down the floor. It's intercepted by Lund. They get it down underneath. Shot goes up. It's no good. Rebound battle for Nichols. Comes away with it to Bovey. Bovey feeds it off to the left side to Hurlbert. Back out to Nichols. Over to the right side to Shipman. Shipman down into the right corner to Sikora. She drives the right baseline, and we're going to get a blocking foul called down underneath.
Should be a number 12.
Addison Gray with the blocking foul. It's her first second-team foul on the Buffaloes.
We're wrong. Number 5. But there is no number 5. Oh, yes, there is.
Olivia Snyder got charged with a foul. Shipman with a 3. She hit the 3. Sierra Shipman gets the Vikings on the board. Gray with it down into the left corner. That's Snyder. She drives, puts it up, no good. Rebound. And we're going to get a foul called underneath.
I think on 34.
Foul on the rebound. Amber Lund with the foul. It's her first. Third team foul on Mondovi. Vikings bring the ball in. Nichols has it. Feeds it forward to Sikora. Sikora on the right side. Gets it down underneath to Shipman. Picks it up. Puts it up. No good. Rebound chased down by Bovey. She drives in. She puts it in. She scores and drew the harm. So the foul is on Amber Lund. That'll be her first. And it's the fourth team foul. Free throw is on the way, no good. Rebound, battle for, finally coming away with it is Bovey, and then she lost the handle. It goes out of bounds. Maddie Martin brings the ball down the floor for the Buffaloes. Feeds it down to the right side. That's Butler. Then over to Martin. Martin drives to the elbow. Gets it out to the left side. 3-pointers off the glass. No good. Rebound. And we're going to get a whistle and a foul. The 3-pointer was attempted by Addison Gray.
Should be a foul on number 12.
And that one, she got charged for the foul as well. Trying to chase down the rebound. That's the 5th foul on the Buffaloes. Bovey with it, and we're going to get a blocking foul. That's foul number 6 on the Buffaloes, and that one's going to be on Olivia Snyder. That's her second.
Colfax will be in the bonus here in the next foul, are they?
Hajdukovic checks in for the Vikings. Hurlbert goes out. Also, Adeline Acker checking in as Nichols goes out. Bovey with the ball across the timeline on the right side. Gets it over to Hajdukovic on the right wing. Out to the top of the key to Bovey. Then over to the right side to Shipman. Back out to Sikora to the center circle. Then over to Shipman and to Bovey, drives the right baseline, goes up, it doesn't go. Rebound taken down by Hajdukovic, and we're going to get a foul. And the foul is on
number 0.
Hannah Butler, or Bauer. Hannah Bauer charged with a foul. It's her first, but 7th. That's why Clara Hajdukovic is at the line. First shot's good. Vikings have cut that 8-0 lead down to 8-6. Second shot on the way. That one's off the back of the iron. Bauer with the rebound. She gets it to Martin at the top of the key. Takes it to the right, reverses direction, feeds it down underneath, intercepted by Hajdukovic. Acker, and then it gets over to Bovey. Bovey feeds it over to the left side to Sikora, to Hajdukovic, back out to Bovey, over to Shipman. Shipman to Bovey. Bovey to Shipman. Shipman to Bovey. Down to Hajdukovic on the left side. Back out to Bovey. Takes it between the circles. Then shot goes up by Sikora. Put back shot is no good. And we got a foul underneath.
Number 3.
That one's going to be on Allie Butler, her second, 8th team foul. I'm not sure if that was on the rebound or on the putback. Shot goes up. It was on the putback, and it's good. Checking back in for the Buffaloes is Addison Gray, as Allie Butler takes a seat. Shipman's second shot. Up and no good. It went 3/4 of the way down. And we're going to get a foul called on Hajdukovic. That's Clara's first personal, 3rd team foul on the Vikings. Martin takes it across the timeline, into the lane, puts it up and puts it in. Maddie Martin with about an 8-foot jumper, put it in. Sikora with it, down on the right side, she backs out. Gets it out to Shipman, over to Bovey. Bovey. Over to, well, Bovey got it back, puts it up, no good, rebound. Taken down by Wright, Kira Wright. Gets it to Martin, drives into the lane, feeds it back out to Bauer. Back over to Lund, and then to Wright, 3-pointer on the way, it's no good. That rebound taken down by Sikora. Bovey, over to the right side to Shipman. Back to Bovey. Bovey back to Shipman. To Acker. Shipman to Bovey, back to Shipman. To Acker on the right side. Back out to Shipman. Into the lane to Hajdukovic. Then to Acker, and a 3-pointer. No, they're saying a 2. 2-pointer for Addie Acker. 10-9. Vikings trail by a point. Martin with it on the right side. Feeds it over to the left to Lund. She drives into the lane, puts it up, it doesn't go. Sikora with the rebound. Bovey coming back down the floor. They get it back out to the top of the key. 3-pointers up, no good. Rebound battle for, and it'll be Viking ball. Vikings inbound the ball. Sikora has it on the right side. Now Shipman has it. Out to Bovey. Bovey over to Nichols. Back to Bovey. Over to Shipman. Shipman to Bovey. To Shipman. To the right side of the lane to Sikora. She's tied up down there. Ball gets loose. It's still loose on the floor. Nichols. And a timeout called by the Vikings as it was a scramble on the floor. And we'll take one as well as you're tuned to Viking basketball on NLWN-TV.
NLWN-TV is once once again excited to be your host for Colfax High School girls basketball throughout the 2024 through 2025 season. Our next girls Vikings game will be on Monday, February 17th, when the Vikings take on the Fall Creek Crickets from Colfax High School. Coverage begins with Viking pregame at 6:40 p.m. with live play-by-play to follow. That's live Colfax Viking girls basketball on Monday, February 17th on NLWN-TV.
Back here in Mondovi, Rick Olson along with Dan Petschow, Chris Olson on the camera. Vikings will have the ball on the side after that scramble on the floor. Buffaloes lead 10-9, 9:53 remaining in half number 1. Vikings inbound the ball. Bovey has it between the circles, gets it over to the right side to Nichols. Nichols back out to Bovey, then over to Nichols. To Bovey. To Shipman. To Sikora. In the corner, back out to Shipman. She's high, wide, and right. Out to Bovey between the circles. Takes it over to the right side to Shipman. Drives down, back out to Sikora. Sikora drives to the elbow, puts a shot up from there, no good. Rebound, chased down, and Bauer got it. Got it over to Martin. Martin's at the top of the key. Feeds it to Bauer on the right side, back to Martin. Martin comes down the left side of the lane. Gets it over to Amber Gray on the baseline. Feeds it underneath to Lund. She got tied up. Out to Bauer. Three-pointer on the way. No good. Rebound. It's out of bounds, and it'll be Viking ball. Checking in for the Buffaloes is Olivia Snyder as Maddie Martin's going to take a break. And we also have Allie Butler coming in. And Hannah Bauer takes a break. Bovey brings the ball down for the Vikings. Vikings moving from right to left. Over to the right side to Shipman. Back to Bovey at the top of the key. Over to Shipman. Down into the corner to Sikora. To Shipman. To Sikora. To Shipman. To Bovey. Bovey to Shipman. To Sikora. To Shipman. Down to Nichols, down underneath to Sikora. Tried to get it to Bovey, and she got fouled. I think it's going to be on Addison Gray. Yes, it is. That's her second, 9th team foul on the Buffaloes. So Bovey goes to the line for the 1-and-1, and after this, it'll be 2 shots. First one's up, that one's good. And we're tied at 10. Vikings on an 8-2 run. Or 10-2 run. Second shot is up. Rebound taken down by the Buffaloes. They feed it down underneath. Ball gets knocked loose. Chased down by Wright. She gets it back out high. And driving down and putting it up and off the glass is Addison Gray. Bovey with it, down into the right corner to Nichols. Back to Bovey, to Nichols. Back out to Bovey, high, wide, right. To the left side to Shipman. Drives down, back out to Bovey at the top of the key. Over to Nichols. She saves it in, but right into the hands of Allie Butler. They get it over to Gray. She tries to feed it down low to Lund. Drives into the lane, puts it up. It's no good. Hajdukovic with the rebound.
Colfax having a little trouble with this zone by Mondovi. They'll have to figure this out.
Shipman with it. Gets it to Sikora. Back to Shipman on the left. To Bovey between the circles. Over to the right side to Hajdukovic. Lost the handle, but she got it back. To Bovey.
Mondovi's running a 3-2 zone.
Nichols out to Bovey. To Nichols, to Bovey. Bovey trying to get someone to come out high.
Problem is, Addison Gray is covering that wing pretty strong, and now there's an errant pass by the Vikings intended for Sikora, goes out of bounds, so the Buffaloes will have it. 6:39 to go. Part of it is I'm seeing, Dan, is the Vikings are trying to do something with the ball before they secure the ball.
Yeah, you know, and Colfax wants to work that perimeter, and they got to find a way to get inside right now.
Ball comes out to Snyder. Then to right at the elbow. Shot goes up, no good. Lund with a rebound, and we're going to get a foul called on the Vikings. I think he signaled Clara Hajdukovic. Nope, it was Sikora. So the Buffaloes have the ball. Snyder with it on the right side. Gets it out high to right. Then over to Butler on the left side. Back out high to Gray. Gray to Snyder, now to right. Or not to right, but Butler. Now they get it over to the right side. That's Snyder with it down in the corner. Out high. That's Butler. And then to Amber Lund in the lane. She puts it up. It's no good. Rebound being fought for as it goes out of bounds. And they're going to call a jump ball. Every officiating crew has their idiosyncrasies, and one of the things we notice is these guys don't call jump balls quite as frequently as a lot of crews that we see. They will find a foul to call instead, and so that's why I kind of held my breath on that one. I didn't know who was going to get called, but they called it a jump ball. So the Vikings have it on the possession arrow. Hajdukovic has it over to the right side to Sikora. Sikora passes over to Nichols, and it goes out of bounds. That's the second time I've seen that happen over on that side to Lyric Nichols. And again, I think that's where she's trying to do something with it before she catches the ball. Lund has it at the elbow. Gets it out. Three-pointer on the way is no good. Rebound. Pinballing around. The shot was by Addison Gray. And the Vikings come down the floor with it. Bovey feeds it to Shipman. To Sikora, puts up the three. It's no good. Hajdukovic couldn't get the rebound, but it's chased down by Nichols in the corner on the right side. She gets it out to Bovey. Bovey drives towards the lane. She's double teamed, and we're going to get a jump ball called. That's what I get for saying they don't ever call jump balls.
Yeah, good job by the Mondovi Buffaloes right now. They got Kovacs kind of confused on this zone.
Martin with the ball, feeds it over to the right side. And the pass goes through the arms of Addison Gray and out of bounds, so the Vikings will get it back. We're tied at 10 with 4:52 to go. Bovey with the ball. And she got tripped up. She got tripped up by Olivia Snyder, and that's why she ended up flat on her face. So Jordan Bovey to the line for the 1-on-1. No, she's shooting two. That's right, double bonus.
She's 1 for 2 from the line so far.
And the first one's good. And the Vikings have their first lead of the night. And the second one's good. So she went from 1 for 2 to 3 for 4. Yeah. Buffalo's down the floor now. It's Gray with the ball over on the near side. She gets it over to Butler. Then back out high to Krybeck. Over to the left side, going in as Gray, shots up no good. Rebound chased down by Bovey. She's across the timeline. Down onto the right side to Hurlbert, to Bovey. Bovey to Hajdukovic, puts a shot a little high off the glass, and we're going to get a foul being called on Bovey, I think. It is. They're saying she kind of went up over the back on that one.
Yeah, that was their first time in about 3 minutes they made it inside, and couldn't do nothing with it. But they're slowly figuring it out.
Vikings on top, 12-10. Buffaloes with the ball. They feed it over to the near side. That's Lund. Long course pass to Butler. Feeds it into the lane to Lund. Turns, tries to drive, gets it over to Gray, lays it up. It's no good. Rebound taken down by Hurlburt. Sikora with it. Sikora feeds it over to the near side to Hurlburt, puts up a three. She hit the three. Layla Hurlburt. And a timeout being called by the Mondovi Buffaloes as the Vikings have opened up a 15-10 lead. And you're tuned to Viking basketball on NLWN-TV.
NLWN-2 is once again excited to be your host for Colfax High School boys basketball throughout the 2024 through 2025 season.
This is what we came in for.
Our next game will be on Tuesday, February 18th, when the Vikings travel to Glenwood City, Wisconsin to take on the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. Coverage begins with Viking pregame at 6:40 p.m. with live play-by-play to follow. That's live Colfax Viking boys basketball on Tuesday, February 18th on NLWN-2.
Even though it's winter, baseball is just around the corner. And the Northern Light Webcasting Network is excited to bring you Colfax High School baseball, followed by Eau Claire Cavalier baseball. So stick with us all spring and summer long for America's game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Back here at Mondovi High School, Vikings have opened up a 5-point lead, 15-10. That's a 15-2 run that the Vikings are on. Buffaloes bring it across the timeline. Martin gets it over to Lund on the left side. Down into the left corner to Addison Gray. She dribbles back out high, over to Martin. Martin at the top of the key. Puts up a long three-pointer. It's off the back of the iron, no good. Hurlburt with the rebound. She gets it to Acker, over to Shipman. Shipman feeds it over to Nichols. Nichols takes it over to the right side. Into the lane to Shipman. She lays it up and she lays it in.
They called the timeout, they figured out something, and now they're getting inside.
Martin drives down, she puts it in. First 2 points in a long time for the Mondovi Buffaloes. Vikings 17, Mondovi 12. Sikora with it on the left side. Tries to feed it over to Shipman. Ball got tipped away and the Buffaloes come back with it. Allie Butler across the timeline. Gets it over to Addison Gray. To Martin. Martin, and she traveled. She almost put it to the floor going to her right, changed direction, went to the left, and then put it to the floor. And, you know, Dan, you can't do that.
Yeah, and she knew it too.
She got hung up in her own head and shoulder fake. So the Vikings have it, and Bovey brings it up the floor. Across the timeline, tries to feed it over to the right side. It was knocked out of bounds by Butler. Wright checking into the lineup for the Buffaloes for Krybeck. Nichols into Bovey. Down to Hurlburt, three-pointer off the front of the iron, no good. Hajdukovic with the rebound. Gets it to Bovey, then to Hurlburt at the free throw line, out to Nichols, over to the right side to Shipman. Shipman cross-court pass over to Hurlburt, puts it up, no good. Rebound, there's bodies flying all over the place out there, Dan.
Yeah, good defense on both ends.
Martin with it, gets it over to Gray. Gray cross-court pass over to Butler. To Martin. She's high, wide, and right. Then to Gray.
Out to Lund, to Martin from the right corner. Rattles around it, does not go through. Nichols with it. And Bovey brings it down the floor for the Vikings. Coming up on a minute to go in the first half. Nichols has the ball down into the right corner to Bovey, back out to Nichols, cross court over to Hurlburt. She puts up another three. It's off the back of the iron, no good. And coming away with it are the Buffaloes. Over to the right side. This is Gray. Tries to feed it in and is knocked away by the Vikings. Down the floor comes Bovey. She loses her footing, and we're going to get a jump ball called. Possession arrow in favor of the Vikings. Sikora checking in for Hurlburt. Nichols looking for somewhere to go, gets it into Shipman. Ball gets knocked away and out of bounds. It will still be Viking ball. Nichols into Bovey. Bovey between the circles over to the right side to Hajdukovic, back to Bovey, directing traffic. Then to Nichols. To Sikora. Sikora to Bovey. To Nichols. 10 seconds remaining to Bovey. 4 seconds. Gets it to Sikora. Puts the shot up. It's no good. And we've reached halftime. So the score at halftime is Vikings 17 and the Mondovi Buffaloes 12. Stay tuned, because coming up in Viking halftime, we will have Layla Hurlburt as our Viking profile player. And you're tuned to Viking basketball on NLWN-TV.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
Time now for Viking halftime, with today's Viking profile and other halftime entertainment. That's coming up right after this.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're going to get to know about Layla Hurlburt. And Layla, you are a junior here at Colfax?
Yes.
Okay. And we know that you play basketball, but are you involved in any other activities here at school?
I started the school newspaper.
Very good. And what do they call a school newspaper?
The Viking Post.
Okay. When did you start playing basketball, and what kind of an experience has that been for you?
I think third grade, and it's been really good. My favorite sport, for sure.
Okay. What's the most important thing that you've learned playing basketball?
Communication and teamwork.
It's pretty critical trying to run those plays on the floor if you're not communicating with each other.
Yeah.
And it's not always verbal, is it?
No. Okay. Eye contact.
Okay. So when you're not playing basketball, you're not here at school, what are some other things that keep you busy or occupied?
I do stuff on the farm, and I work at Fleet Farm, too.
Okay. All right. Now here's our trademark question.
Okay.
Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Pie.
Which kind?
Pecan.
Oh, good choice. Yeah. Hot dog, burger, or brats?
Brat.
And what do you want in that brat?
Everything.
Everything. Kraut too?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, just the way I like them. Yeah, load them up. Favorite color and why?
Green. I like summer. I like just how it looks on trees and whatnot.
Okay. Yeah, we do Eau Claire Cavalier baseball. One of the most amazing greens is when we're up in the press box looking down at the field, and that ballpark is just, yeah, I can understand your love of green. If you could have a superpower, what do you think that might be?
Speed.
Okay, super speed. And so if you have super speed, of course you have to have a superhero name to go with that. So what's Layla's superhero name?
Speedy Layla.
Speedy Layla. I can live with that one. Your favorite NBA or WNBA team?
The Bucks.
Okay, how about a college team?
Badgers.
All right. If you could sit down with a sports personality from any time in history, any sport, whatever, that you could just sit down and pick their brain and maybe have a meal together or something, who do you think that might be?
Giannis.
Okay, and what about Giannis would interest you?
He's really funny, and he comes from a different country, which is pretty cool.
Okay, all right. So we're talking with Layla Hurlbert today on Viking Profile, and what are your plans for after high school?
I'm going to school for journalism, probably at Eau Claire CVTC for my generals, and I'm not quite sure from there, but we'll see.
Okay. How about a shout out to the family?
Shout out Dad, Mom, Emma, my other siblings, too many to name.
Okay. And so when people watch Viking games, where should they look for you on the floor?
Number 14, hopefully not on the bench, but I can't promise that. Maybe on the bench.
And look for those fancy new shoes.
Yeah, fancy new pink shoes, too.
Okay. All right. And we want to thank Layla Hurlbert for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next, more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Losing the fear of looking foolish comes with age.
Who did you steal them from?
Losing your way in your own home doesn't. Confusion with time and place may be a sign of Alzheimer's.
Mom, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine.
Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's.
if kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. So if you want to talk to your kids, you have to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's Viking game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Elmer loves to giggle. Elmer's mommy taught him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to celebrate when you're happy and laugh it out. Love your mind.
And we're back here at Mondovi High School, getting ready to start the second half. Vikings on top, 17-12. And Dan has all the numbers added up from the first half, and he has his socks back on and all his fingers back in place, so he's ready to tell us how the scoring got to 17-12.
About had a little coronary there when I looked at my sheet. Anyways, here's the scores right now for the Buffaloes. Number 3, Allie Butler has 2 points. Maddie Martin has 6. We have Whitney Krybeck with 2, and Amber Lundo 2. For the Vikings, their scores right now are Adeline Acker has 2, Jordan Bowie has 5, Leela Herbert has 3, Sarah Shipman has 6, and Claire Hajdukovic has 1. 17-12, Colfax leads.
And again, this is a defensive struggle. It's not that the team's been playing poorly, it's that both teams have been playing very well on defense. But the Buffaloes jumped out to that 8-0 lead, and ever since then it's been 17-4 for the Vikings. And it looks like, as you said during the first half, maybe they've started to figure a little something out.
Yeah, you know what? It took a little bit. You know, the girls don't get to see zone that much in the Dunn-St. Croix, and all of a sudden Mondovi here throws in a zone, and yeah, it took about 8 minutes to figure out, and all of a sudden they figured out, they got inside, and Mondovi had some turnovers, and all of a sudden Colfax gets the lead.
And if they can get rid of that problem of trying to make something happen before they get the ball and look for the person that can step into their pass and knock it away, and try not to do that, because there have been some where it's looked like somebody was open and somebody jumps the route, to use the football term.
Yeah.
And
yeah, you're used to, if you're on offense and you're playing man-to-man, everybody's like always moving, and all of a sudden a zone comes and your defense is just standing there. You know,
so you really don't see when they're going to be
right
in the way.
Right. Your holes are closed, and you got to make some adjustments.
So the Buffaloes inbound the ball to start the second half. Maddie Martin with it over on the left side. She gets it out high to Butler. Now they get it over to the right side to Gray, and then back to Butler, to Martin at the top of the key. She puts up a 3, and it missed the mark, and out of bounds. It'll be Viking ball. Little too much left windage on that one.
Yeah, she did a little step back and came out about 2 feet short.
Buffalo is in full court pressure. And we're going to get a jump ball called. Nichols got tied up just before she crossed the timeline. And possession arrow in favor of the Vikings. Bovey with the ball. Gets it over to the left side to Sikora. Back out high to Shipman.
Over to the right side to Nichols, down to Bovey in the corner. Back out to Nichols, to Bovey. Into Hajdukovic. Gets it back out to Bovey, to Nichols, puts up the three. She hit the three! Lyric Nichols with a three-pointer. 20-12, Vikings by 8. Snyder with it, gets it to Martin, out to Lund, and then to Gray. Over to Snyder, to Martin. Martin drives into the lane, but she got her pocket picked. And here goes Shipman. She lays it up, and a little too hard off the glass. Back down the floor come the Buffaloes. Martin, and Martin puts it up and in.
That good move by Maddie Martin. She has 8 points.
Vikings feed it into the forecourt. Sikora with it. Over to the right corner. Shipman. She hit the three. Sierra Shipman with a three-pointer.
She has 9 points.
Lund drives in, puts it up, and we have it tied up underneath. And the Buffaloes will get the ball. Well, I tell you what, when Hajdukovic came down with it, I thought her heels came down on the end line. But the officials didn't see it that way. Martin with it. Gets it out to Gray. Over to Butler, and the pass gets tipped away and back out to Martin. Martin launches a long three. She hit that one. 23-17, Vikings by 6. Sikora has it in the forecourt. That full court pressure causing a little bit of trouble for the Vikings. Bovey with it between the circles. Over to Hajdukovic on the left side. Back over to Shipman, to Bovey, to Nichols, to Hajdukovic, to Nichols. Nichols between the circles. Takes it over to the right side. Back out between the circles to Bovey, to Hajdukovic, to Shipman, driving, and we're going to get a charging call being called on Shipman.
Her first.
That was a pretty good collision between her and Lund. So Martin has it. They get it down to Snyder, and we're going to get a foul. Another quick one being called on Shipman.
Yeah, just got her hand in there a little bit. She plays aggressive defense.
Pass comes in to Butler, and then they get it out high. Martin drives to the elbow, backs out to the top of the key. Over to Gray. Gray feeds it into Lund. Gets it out to Snyder. Three-pointer found its way down. They've cut the Viking lead to 3. Nichols takes it into the lane, puts it up, and we're going to get a foul called on Amber Lund. Oh no, they called a charging foul on Nichols. That's the first foul on Nichols, third team foul on the Vikings. Martin with it, gets it over to Snyder on the right side, then to Martin. Martin drives to the elbow, backs out, takes it into the lane, feeds it over to Butler, to Gray, to Lund, to Snyder, who put in the 3. And we're tied at 23. Hajdukovic gets it to Bovey on the left side. Turnaround jumper, in and out, no good. Rebound taken down by Sikora. She dribbles out of trouble. Sikora between the circles. Over to the right side to Shipman. Shipman to the top of the key. Hands it off to Bovey. Over to Nichols on the right. To between the circles. Over to Shipman. Shipman tries to feed it over to Hajdukovic, but misconnected on the pass.
All of a sudden, the Mondovi went back from man-to-man to that 3-2 zone and kind of confused Colfax again.
Martin, between the circles, gets it over to the right side to Snyder. Snyder down into the corner to Lund. Long pass over to Martin on the left side. Takes it back out to the top of the key. Lund has it. Over to Snyder. To Martin on the left baseline, drives in. That one got blocked by Hajdukovic, but they got a...
Must be double dribble.
Yeah, I did not see the official make the call, other than all of a sudden everybody stopped. And it looked like a clean block, so I knew it better not be a foul against Clara. Bovey with it. She comes across the timeline to Nichols. Back to Bovey, to Nichols on the left side, to Hajdukovic on the baseline, feeds it to Sikora, puts it up, it comes off. Sikora gets her own rebound, puts it up, no good. Rebound tipped out of bounds, it'll be Mondovi ball. (23-all) with 12:21 to go. Addison Gray with it. Between the circles, gets it over to the right side to Butler. Back out to Snyder and then to Wright. Down underneath and out to Gray. To Wright. To Butler. Down to Lund. Spins, puts it up. It's off the glass, no good. And the Vikings come away with it. Bovey feeds it over to the left side. To Hajdukovic, back out to Bovey, to Nichols. To Bovey, to Nichols. Back out to Bovey, they're playing a little catch. To Shipman, to Hajdukovic, out to Sikora. To Hajdukovic, ball got knocked away out of bounds, it'll be Viking ball. Lund got her hand in there and knocked it loose. Hannah Bauer checking in for the Buffaloes. Long pass comes in to Bovey. Then to Shipman, three-pointer. She hit the three. Nothing but net that time. And the Vikings back on top.
She has 3 threes, 12 points.
And the Vikings come away with the ball. Here comes Shipman. Feeds it over to Bovey. She puts it up. It goes in and she got fouled. Bovey off balance, laid it up and puts it in.
Yeah, good awareness, but number 30, you see her Shipman to find her across the court.
Foul is on Wright. It's the first personal on Wright, first team foul on the Buffaloes. Addie Acker checking in for the Vikings along with Layla Hurlbert. Bovey puts it up. It's good. 29-23. Vikings back up by 6. And the Buffaloes come down the floor with Addison Gray on the dribble. She feeds it over to Bauer on the right side. Bauer brings it back out high, and she walked. She tried to put the brakes on, but the feet didn't cooperate. Bovey with it. Across the timeline. Between the circles. Feeds it over to the left side to Shipman. Back to Bovey. To Acker. Bovey with it between the circles again. To Shipman, to Bovey. To Acker. Cross court pass to Shipman. And we've got a whistle. And I think the foul is going to be on Hannah Bauer. That's her second team foul. Acker looking to inbound the ball, gets it into Sikora. Sikora out between the circles. Feeds it over to the left side to Bovey. Then to Shipman on the right, back to Bovey on the left, to Hurlbert in the left wing. And they swing it back around to Acker. Hurlbert, she launches a three, it's no good. Rebound taken down by Wright. Martin with it. She gets it over to Butler. Back to Martin. Martin over on the left side, drives the left baseline, out to Lund. And they get it to Bauer and then to Butler. Down underneath and back out to Butler, to Wright. Wright drives into the lane. To Bauer, puts up a three, no, rebound, tied up. And it's going to be a jump ball, Vikings ball, on the possession arrow. Bovey with it, gets it over to Acker. Acker back to Bovey. Bovey to Hurlbert, back to Bovey, to Acker on the left. She's high, wide, and left. To Bovey on the right, to Hurlbert on the right wing, to Sikora. Back out to Hurlbert, and Hurlbert threw it in, and it bounced off of Butler. A pretty agile move that time by Layla Hurlbert. And the Vikings retain possession. Bovey gets it over to the left side to Acker, to Bovey, to Hurlbert, to Bovey, to Acker, to Bovey. Try to get feeded into the lane, nothing there, gets knocked back out. Bovey puts up a three, no good. Rebound taken down by Butler, and down the floor comes Martin. Martin at the free throw line. Hands it off to Wright. She takes it over to the right side to Lund. Back over to the left side to Butler. Down to Martin. She puts it up. We're going to get a whistle and a foul. I think we got a foul on Bovey. And that's her fourth team foul on the Vikings. Maddie Martin at the line. First one's up. It's no good. Hajdukovic and Nichols checking back in for the Vikings. Second shot for Lund. That one's good. Viking lead is at 5 with 8:40 to go. Bovey feeds it over to the right side to Shipman, back to Bovey. Over to Nichols, back out to Bovey. Over to Shipman. Down to Sikora. Sikora down in the right corner, tries to feed it in, gets slapped away and intercepted by the Buffaloes. And Martin tried to feed it down low to Lund and fired it a little too hard.
Yeah, the ball didn't bounce up like she was hoping it would. Kind of stayed down low.
So, Vikings have it. Bovey with it between the circles. Gets it to Sikora, to Shipman. She hit another three. Sierra Shipman hot from three-point land.
Yeah, she has 4 threes tonight.
Buffaloes with it. Gray on the dribble to the free throw line. Now they swing it over to Martin on the right side. To Lund. Then out to Butler. To Lund. To Bauer. To Gray. Three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound taken down by Shipman. Bovey across the timeline to Shipman, down into the corner to Nichols, puts up a three, off the iron, no good. Rebound chased down by the Buffaloes. Gray with the ball, feeds it down underneath, and the shot's no good. Lund gets it back, puts it up and in. Bauer missed the first one, and Lund followed it up.
4 points for Lund.
32-26, Vikings up by 6. 7 minutes, just under that. remaining in the game. Shipman has it on the right side, feeds it down to Sikora. To Bovey in the lane, out to Nichols. Three-pointer is up, no good. And down the floor comes Martin. Drives into the lane. They're saying nothing. We got a foul on the floor. And that's going to be on Bovey. That's a fourth foul on Bovey. So she's going to go have a seat as Addie Acker is checking in. Lund has it, puts up the shot, it's good. From the left elbow, Amber Lund cuts the Viking lead to 4. Acker with it, over to Bovey, or not to Bovey, but to Shipman. To Nichols, puts up the 3, it's no good, and the rebound chased down, that was Sikora, by the way. To Shipman, she puts up a 3, that one's no good. Butler with the ball, gets it to Martin. Martin from the top of the key, she hit the 3! Vikings lead is cut to 1, 32-31, 5:50 remaining.
15 points for Lund.
Shipman with it. Cross court pass over to Nichols. Kept her feet inbounds. Nichols has it on the left side. High pass over to Shipman. To Sikora. Back out to Shipman. She put up a 3. That one's off. And coming away with it, I think we're going to get a foul called. And Coach Serrar didn't like that call too much. She thought it should have been a jump ball. Nichols with the foul. That's her second. It's the 6th foul on the Vikings. So the Buffaloes will be in the bonus from this point on. Butler has it. Feeds it into the lane to Lund. Out to Snyder. Puts up the 3. It's no good. Rebound taken down by Acker. It got taken away from her. We're going to get a whistle and a foul. That foul, I think, is on Addison Gray. It is. That's her third team foul.
You know, Coach Gray don't like it. I think that was a little makeup call from the last one that Coach Serrar didn't like.
I think you might be right. Bovey checks back in with 4 fouls. She comes across the timeline. To Sikora. Down to Shipman, has the baseline. She went up and got fouled. All of a sudden, she was open to drive the baseline, went up. Martin recovered pretty well, but fouled her on the way up.
It's Maddie's second.
So Shipman at the line for 2. First shot is up and it's good. That was the 4th team foul on the Buffaloes. Acker checking in for Bovey. I think Coach just wanted to say something to Acker. Second shot is up. That one's also good. Vikings back up by 3. Martin with the ball. Launches a 3. It got partially blocked. Recovered by the Buffaloes. Gray with it. Gets it out to Martin. Back to Gray on the right side. To Snyder. Feeding it into the lane. And we're going to get a foul on Nichols.
Got a little push in the back. Not a lot, but.
So that'll send Butler to the line for the 1-on-1. Shot is on the way. That one's good. (34-32). Bovey checking back in.
She's using Bovey in an offensive-defensive situation if she can. Rebound, taken down, and then off the foot of Gray. It'll be Viking ball.
Yeah, Jordan Bovey's kind of their go-to for shooting free throws, and so you want her on the line here with 4 minutes left in the game.
She also runs the offense very well. She does a nice job as a point guard. Nichols with it. Cross-court pass over to Sikora. She puts up a three. It's off the iron. No good. Rebound being taken down by the Buffaloes. Allie Butler with the good rebounding position that time. To Martin. Gets it over to Gray. Drives into the lane. Lays it up. It's no good. Rebound being fought for. And we're going to get a foul on Clara Hajdukovic.
Yeah, she kind of got her hand in there. Grabbed a little bit.
That's the second foul on Clara, 8th team foul. Amber Lund to the line for 1-and-1. First one's on the way. That one's good. 34-33. Wright is ready to check in for Lund. And the shot's up. No good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. Nichols got it, and she handed it off to Bovey. Bovey across the timeline, gets it to Shipman. Back to Bovey. Down into the corner to Nichols on the right side. Back out to Bovey. Back to Nichols. Back to Bovey. Over to Shipman. To Bovey. To Nichols. Nichols back out to Bovey. To Nichols. To Bovey. Vikings up by a point. Nichols with it. 3:45. We're going to get a whistle and a foul on Allie Butler. That's a 5th foul on the team. So they've still got another foul to give. Right now checking in for Lund. That, by the way, is the 3rd foul on Allie Butler. Bovey with the ball. Dribbles out between the circles, gets it over to Shipman on the left. Back to Bovey. Back to Shipman. Back to Bovey. Back to Shipman.
Yeah, there's a lot of standing around by Colfax right now. They got to get the ball moving.
Nichols has it, driving the baseline, and they say she traveled. Dan's giving me the look. It sure looked to me like she put the ball to the floor. Yeah, she shuffled her feet, but the ball hit the floor first.
I think she had a couple dribbles in there.
You can't just watch the feet. Martin gets it over to Wright on the right side to Snyder. Back out to Wright, 3-pointer on the way. It's short. Rebound, no good. The rebound was by Butler. It was no good. Knocked out of bounds by the Vikings. Inbound pass gets knocked away by Sikora. It was intended for Snyder. So Martin to inbound again. She gets it into Butler. Over to Gray, to Martin at the top of the key. Takes it down the left side of the lane. Double teamed. Ball gets tipped away by Nichols. Nichols feeds it to Bovey, puts it up, and it's just going to sit there. I haven't seen that one in quite a while. It's just going to sit there.
Well, we have to wait now until it comes down. see if it goes in.
And Coach Serrar knocked it off with a towel. So the Buffaloes will get it. Martin feeds it over to Butler on the right side. To Snyder, back out to Butler. To Martin, wide and right. To Wright on the left. That's hard to say.
Yeah.
She drives into the lane, puts it up, it's no good. Rebound tipped around, and the Vikings finally come away with it. Right at it, she tried a wraparound pass, and the Vikings intercepted. And down the floor comes Sikora on the left side. Gets it out to Shipman, to Bovey, to Shipman. Launches a three, it's short. And the rebound by Wright. She gets it to Martin. Martin at the top of the key. And we're going to get a timeout call by the Buffaloes. So with a timeout on the floor, it's Vikings 34, Buffaloes 33. And you're tuned to Viking basketball on NLWN-TV.
Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax has just what you need when you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it. Mom's is open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily and until 9 on Fridays with a complete breakfast menu. Lunch includes sandwiches, salads, wraps, and burgers, along with Mom's comfort food favorites, and don't forget dinner on Fridays with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee always hot, the breakfast always delicious, and lunch puts a smile on your face. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax.
And we're back here at Mondovi. Vikings on top, 34-33, minute 54 remaining. Mondovi will have the ball out of bounds. Martin with it, takes it over to the right side. Feeds it back out to the Gray at the top of the key. To Butler, puts up a three, no! Rebound taken down by Sikora.
Yeah, this is where you want to have it in Jordan Bovey's hands right now with a minute 30.
To Shipman, to Bovey. Over to Nichols. Back to Bovey. Back to Nichols. Into the lane to Sikora. Feeds it back out to Bovey.
They're careful, they could run this clock out.
To Nichols. To Bovey. To Sikora. To Nichols. Puts up a three. No. Rebound by Hajdukovic. Trying to get rid of it, and the ball ends up in the hands of the Buffaloes. Coming up on a minute remaining, and we're going to get a timeout called by Mondovi. So timeout on the floor. It's Vikings 34, Buffaloes 33, and you're tuned to Viking basketball on NLWN-TV.
Menominee Eye and Optical can help you see the world for the beautiful place it is. Doctors Nicholas and Marianne Comro provide comprehensive and emergency eye care for all, including pediatric and special needs patients. Whether it's examination for glasses to cataract or LASIK care, or diagnosis and management of macular degeneration, and so much more. In addition, Menominee Eye and Optical's experienced opticians will help guide you to the highest quality eyewear for the best value. That's Menominee Eye and Optical, 520 Wilson Avenue in Menominee, where they specialize in quality personalized care for you and your family.
January is Financial Wellness Month. Weight loss and physical fitness are common New Year's resolutions, but your finances could probably stand to be leaner as well. Dairy State Bank will post tips all month on Facebook and Twitter to help you get your finances in shape. You can also access a library of information anytime in our online education center. Visit dairystatebank.com and click on the Education Center under the Resources tab. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Minute 4 remaining in this one. Vikings up by 1. Mondovi Buffaloes with the ball. Addison Gray gets it into Maddie Martin. She takes it between the circles, directing traffic. Gets it out to Gray on the left, to Butler at the top of the key, to Martin on the right. Drives to the free throw line. Feeds it out to Butler. 45 seconds to go. Lund has it on the right side. Out to Gray. Gray takes it between the circles.
Colfax in man.
She drives down, puts it up, it's no good. Rebound, follow up, it's good! And the Vikings want a timeout. With 21.3 seconds remaining, Mondovi on top, 35-34. And we'll take one as well as you're tuned to Viking basketball on NLWN-TV.
If your estate isn't looking quite estate-like, Let Midwest Environmental Consultants landscape your estate right up to snuff with installation of retaining walls, brick patios, foundation planting beds, and so much more. Then they'll keep it that way with their expert lawn care service. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your estate the showplace of the neighborhood.
NLWN-TV is once again excited to be your host for Colfax High School girls basketball throughout the 2024 through 2025 season. Our next girls Vikings game will be on Monday, February 17th, when the Vikings take on the Fall Creek Crickets from Colfax High School. Coverage begins with Viking pregame at 6:40 p.m. with live play-by-play to follow. That's live Colfax Viking girls basketball on Monday, February 17th on NLWN-TV.
Well, Dan, here we go. 21.3 seconds remaining. Vikings need a point.
More than enough time for Colfax to get something set up.
Sikora to inbound. She gets it into Bovey. Across the timeline. Over to the right side. Gets it to Nichols. Nichols over to Shipman. Shipman to Nichols. Nichols out to Bovey. Bovey drives in, puts it up, it won't go. Hajdukovic with the rebound, and she got fouled. Clara Hajdukovic with the foul, but it was on the floor, so she's not going to go to the line.
Yeah, that was good. Oh, they want to say a shooting foul. I think it is a shooting foul.
It should be, but the official that called the foul is pointing to the floor. And that's the way they're going to call it. It's on the floor. There are 3 seconds left. The Vikings will have to inbound the ball, and Coach Serrar wants to call a timeout. All right, Dan, you got 3 seconds. What do you do?
I think you got to put it in Sikora's hand. I like Bovey, but everybody's going to be watching Bovey, and they're going to, if they can get just a little turnaround here, because the ball will be under the hoop, they're going to have to just do a little spin and get a shot. But I think you put it in Sikora's hands, because I bet Bovey will be double teamed. You can try to get it into
Hajdukovic?
Yeah, underneath. Just she's tall enough, you can just throw it into her. But I think
you're right. I think Sikora is the more sure-handed shot under there.
Yeah, and I think Mondovi, they'll double team her. Yeah.
So this is why we come to these games.
It was worth coming on the snowstorm.
Don't forget, we've got more girls basketball coming for you on Monday as the Vikings will face the Fall Creek Crickets in Colfax. That's a non-conference game. Coverage begins with Viking pregame at 6:40. Girls against Fall Creek Crickets. Nichols to inbound. And a mistake made by Nichols. She thought she had the baseline, and she didn't. And Mondovi wants to call a timeout. Lyric Nichols made, that time was a rookie mistake. I don't think she realized she couldn't move on the baseline, because normally if you're going the other way you can, but when it's under your own basket you can't move.
Yeah, so if you're Colfax now, the ball, you got to follow right away, and that'll put Mondovi to the line, and then in theory they will have 3 seconds.
Well,
but you got to follow right away.
You do. The first thing you do is try to intercept the inbound pass, and then immediately foul.
Yeah, what a game tonight we've had. Lead changes.
Hey, join us on Tuesday on NLWN-2 as we bring you Colfax High School boys basketball. The Vikings are going to travel over to Glenwood City to take on the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. That is a Dunn-St. Croix Conference matchup.
And coverage will begin with Viking pregame at 6:40, followed by live play-by-play on NLWN-2. All right, here we go. Buffaloes to inbound the ball. 3 seconds. Martin to inbound. Long pass. It's complete. And she's going to hold it, and there's the buzzer. Final score, the Mondovi Buffaloes 35, Vikings 34. That will put the Vikings at 9-4 in the Dunn-St. Croix, and the Buffaloes will move to 9-4, so the two teams are tied in conference play. We'll be back with Viking postgame coming up right after this timeout as you're tuned to Viking basketball on NLWN-TV.
Even though it's winter, baseball is just around the corner. And the Northern Light Webcasting Network is excited to bring you Colfax High School baseball, followed by Eau Claire Cavalier baseball. So stick with us all spring and summer long for America's game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
One scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
When the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
I'm relying on luck, but who knows if it'll be on my side.
When it comes to disasters and emergencies, it's not a matter of if, but when. Take control. 1. Assess your needs. 2. Make a plan. 3. Engage your support network. Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell.
You have been tuned to Colfax Viking Girls Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. This copyrighted production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and Colfax High School is intended for the enjoyment of the viewing and listening audience. Any broadcast, rebroadcast, or reproduction without the express written consent of the Northern Light Webcasting Network LLC and Colfax High School is prohibited. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Postgame.
In November of 2018, our daughter Jana passed away. The outpouring of support was unbelievable. Support that we received inspired us to start a foundation called the Jana Kelly Memorial Foundation. And through that foundation,
we've given back in a lot of different ways, through projects, through different other charities that we've supported. We like to help Humane Association, and the Ronald McDonald House is something that's very near and dear to us. We've also recently, this last year, we actually built a tiny house. It's really exciting to be able to give back in different ways.
To learn more or to help financially, would find us on Facebook or www.janakelly.com.
Time now for Viking postgame, with a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking girls game. And now, Viking postgame.
And we're back here at Mondovi High School, where the Vikings dropped a heartbreaker to the Mondovi Buffaloes by a score of 35-34. Mondovi scoring the game winner with less than a minute to go in the game, and then the Vikings had a chance at an inbound with 3 seconds to go under their own basket, and then they made a cardinal mistake and turned the ball over, and the rest was history. So Vikings battled hard in that game, and we're going to have Coach Sarar coming up here in just a moment. And let's see here. Yeah, let's bring it down over here because you're right in front of Chris's camera there. Oops. Well, we're trying to get microphone for you there. All right, well, Coach, that's kind of a heartbreaker on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, the lid definitely went on the hoop for us with about 8 minutes to go. We just could not score. I thought we got a lot of good looks, a lot of wide open threes. We needed a couple more to drop, and then, we didn't win the rebounding battle, and that's kind of what it came down to. We gave them a lot of, second chance opportunities, obviously, with that last shot. So, but, overall, I was still proud to coach my kids. Like I said, we held them to 35. That, anytime you can do that, you give yourself a chance to win, and we just needed to make a few more plays and try to get the ball in the middle a little bit more, and we just struggled to do that.
I feel real badly for Lyric Nichols making that mistake she made on the baseline. Most of the time when you get it on the baseline, you've got the whole baseline. And
I told Lyric I'll take ownership of that. If she didn't understand, the ruling or whatnot. So, I told her, that's my fault for not making it clear that you couldn't move. And, overall, we just got to learn from it and bounce back.
And bounce back is something your girls did tonight, because they spotted the Buffaloes 8 points to start the game and then went on a big run and took the lead and took a fairly commanding lead for a while in the first half. They could have easily folded up and gone, well, here we go. And they didn't.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So, it's still time to do some polishing, get things ready for those WIA playoffs, and that's what it's all about. And you're going to face a pretty tough team on Monday with the Fall Creek Crickets. What do we know?
Yeah, we've already played them this year. We know, they're, picked to come out of our sectional. So, we definitely got our work cut out for us. So, we'll just keep trying to have some good practices and get better.
This one's a good one to put in the rearview mirror, and we'll just get ready for Monday. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Thank you for joining us today, and we'll be back with all the numbers on today's game right after this timeout on NLWN-TV.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
Back here at Mondovi High School, Rick Olson, Dan Petchow, Chris Olson. Vikings come up on the short end of a 35-34 score. It didn't lack for keeping you on the edge of your seat, Dan.
Yeah, both ends I thought played really good defense, and that little zone that Mondovi threw in tonight kind of put a wrench in it for a while, and Colfax is going to have to maybe do a little practice about that.
All right, why don't you tell us how we got those points tonight?
Yeah, here's the scores tonight for the Mondovi Buffaloes. They had Allie Butler with 3 points. They had Olivia Snyder with 6. Maddie Martin had 15. We had Whitney Krybeck with 2. And Amber Lund had 7. For the Vikings, Adeline Acker had 2. Jordan Bovee had 8. Leila Herbert had 3. We had Lyric Nichols with 3. We had Sierra Shipman with 17. And Claire Hajdukovic had 1. 35-34, Mondovi gets the lead, or the win.
Yeah, it's a tough one to swallow, but I guess heartbreaker is the right term since it's Valentine's Day. And
yeah, but Mondovi came ready to play tonight.
They did, and actually after that spotting them 8 points to start the game, the Vikings came right back ready to play as well. It was a close game and a hard-fought game. Somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose, and it's too bad that tonight it was the Vikings.
All right.
So, don't forget, we're not done with basketball, not by a long shot. Make sure you join us on Monday on NLWN-TV as we bring you Colfax High School girls basketball. The Vikings are going to take on the Fall Creek Crickets. That's a non-conference game, but it ought to be a good one from Colfax. Coverage begins with Viking pregame at 6:40, followed by live play-by-play action on NLWN-TV. And join us on Tuesday on NLWN-2 as we bring you Colfax High School boys basketball. The Vikings will travel over to Glenwood City High School to take on the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. That is a Dunn-St Croix Conference matchup. Coverage begins with Viking pregame at 6:40, followed by live play-by-play action on NLWN-2. Hey, the annual FFA Toy Show is going to be held on Sunday, February 23rd at Colfax High School. This is an all-day event, so stop by and check out all the agricultural toys that are on display in the Colfax High School gym, or I should say Colfax High School gyms. The parent-teacher conferences are being held on Monday and Thursday of this week from 5:45 through 7:15. That's this coming week. You are a vital part of your child's education, so make sure you participate in those parent-teacher conferences. Tonight's Colfax High School girls basketball game has been brought to you by Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for Western Wisconsin. Anderson Bridges, who have been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's Technology, IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Menominee Eye and Optical, with quality personalized care for you and your family. C&K Construction, concrete experts for the Chippewa Valley. Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax, comfort food the way Mom used to make it. Now make sure you thank these fine sponsors for bringing you Colfax Viking basketball on NLWN-TV. So for Dan Petchow, Chris Olson on the camera, this is Rick Olson. That final score once again, Mondovi Buffaloes 35, Vikings 34. You've been tuned to Viking Postgame on NLWN-TV.
You are listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking girls game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.